Welcome back to the Dan Nader channel and another sound testing video. Got my Sierra, got my nephew here. He's going to be helping me out. So we're going to run up and down the road, get some sound tests. So let's get started. So we're getting ready to do sound test number one. All right, ready? Go.
Sound test 2, ready, go.
Let me know in the description below which of those two sound tests you like better. Thanks for watching. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Dan Nader channel. I've got the 02 Sierra, the Rescue Sierra. Check out my playlist on this truck. You can see how far this thing has come. It was destined for the scrapyard. You've seen the title of the video, you've seen the thumbnail. Today is the day. I am so excited. I'm like a kid on Christmas morning. I've been waiting for this a long time, but I'm finally going to install the Flowmaster Super 10 on Project Rescue Sierra. My channel's grown quite a bit because of the cherry bomb videos that I've done, and I've had a lot of requests to try different brands. So I'm gonna go after the ever popular Flowmaster, and we're gonna go ahead and cut this stock trash can size muffler off of this truck and install this tiny little Super 10. So let's get started. I cannot wait to see how this thing turns out and how it sounds. Let's get started. Okay, so we got this thing jacked up so I can shimmy under this truck a little bit easier. It's surprising, I know, but I'm not as skinny as I used to be.
I have a slight weight problem.
Hard to believe. We are going to be cutting as close as we can to this muffler to give myself some good meat to be able to clamp onto. Yes, I'm going with clamps, and yes, I do own a welder. And the reason why I'm going with clamps is so I can remove the muffler easily, because I have other mufflers that I want to try on this thing. So this is definitely not going to be a permanent solution for me. And then on the back side of this, we've got a pretty good amount of space before our hanger on here as well. So I'll cut somewhere right in here, I suppose. So let's get the surgical precision tool and we'll hack this thing off. So this jack came in handy. All right, now we'll go to the back side. I'm almost positive that this would go a lot quicker if the blade wasn't so dull. Ugh. That is a heavy muffler. Whew, that muffler's got some girth. Well, there you have it. I've got a good clean specimen. You know I gotta do it. All right, so here's the new unit, the Flowmaster Super 10. If you're curious about what side goes on first or what the inlet is, I'm sorry, I can't help you. I have no idea. So there is a directional flow to this thing. So let's go ahead and slap this puppy on. All right, so here it is. I know it looks like a cross-eyed cricket put this in here, but the way I've got it situated, this whole thing is really in by mostly like pressure or friction. You can see I've got my hanger going almost completely to the back. It's pushing forward on this, so I don't really need a clamp. I'm not worried about this thing falling off. I know I should put a clamp here or weld, a clamp here, and a clamp here, but again, this is temporary. I've done this 100 times already on my Silverado, and I've changed out mufflers, drove hundreds of miles, thousands of miles with a setup just like this, and it's not coming off. So again, temporary. So let's fire this thing up and see how this Flowmaster Super 10 sounds on my 02 Project Sierra. Let's do it. Yeah, this is sounding really good. So that's got a nice throaty, kind of a bassy sound to it. I really like it a lot. So I'm gonna be driving this thing to work tomorrow, and actually I'm gonna be going out of town after work, so I have a nice little road test with this thing, and we'll see what the drone's like, and we'll get some sound clips and stuff with this thing running up and down the road too. So I'm digging it. Let's see if there's any exhaust leak with my hack job that I did underneath the truck. So there is a ever so slight, tiny bit of noise coming out right here. Nothing serious. And I've got just a tiny bit of air coming out right here. A little bit of an exhaust leak sound coming from there. You really can't even hear it. The biggest problem I've got is up front. I think I have a cracked exhaust manifold, so I can hear some exhaust towards the front of the engine. So that'll be something I deal with at some other point. I do have some mufflers I want to try out on this thing besides this Flowmaster. So this truck is going to become the kind of the muffler mule for this channel. I'm going to be testing out some different mufflers. I am excited to eventually get to something a little bit more of a permanent solution for this thing that I can't wait to share with you. I've already purchased it. It's just kind of sitting around collecting dust, but it'll get put on eventually. And like I've said before, I'd love to put a set of headers on this thing too. So anyway, that's gonna do it for tonight. So I'm gonna clean up and turn in for the night, but we'll get some sound clips tomorrow. So see you then. Alright, so I've been driving this Flowmaster Super 10 for a couple hundred miles, and I could be all wet, but I think that there is a break-in period with these things. It does seem just a little bit louder than when I first put it on. Again, I don't know, it could just be a figment of my imagination. But I gotta say, I really do like the sound of the Super 10. Flowmaster's internal design on these mufflers do a fantastic job of molding the exhaust tone into something that is just, in my opinion, really cool. It's got a nice low rumble at idle, but when you get on it, it really has that aggressive, throaty kind of growl to it that I find really appealing, especially on this truck. The Super 10 really is suited well for this 5.3 GMC Sierra. Now, whenever you remove a stock muffler and put on an aftermarket muffler, you deal with drone noise. And these stock mufflers do a great job of noise cancellation, sound waves, blah, 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 science. When you remove that stock muffler and you put on an aftermarket one, you do come across quite a bit of drone. Now, the drone noise is the absolute loudest in this truck, right around 1,700 to 1,800 RPM. Currently, I'm doing 75 miles an hour, 2,000 RPM on the interstate, and there's no drone. It is very pleasant in here. You can definitely tell I've got an aftermarket muffler because it is a little bit louder, but there is no drone. It sounds really good, actually. I love that growl sound again that comes out of the Super 10. So the good news is that drone sound, it really is only between 1,700 and 1,800 RPM. I've not really noticed it in any other RPM range. So that's good news. Now the bad news is this truck lives between 1,700 and 1,800 RPM. Pretty much any speed limit you follow around here, this truck is geared for 1,700 and 1,800 RPM, so that drone is almost constant when daily driving this thing. Except for when you're on the interstate, you're doing above that drone range. But doing the speed limit like 35, 55 on the highway, this truck really loves that 1,700, 1,800 RPM. So that's the bad news. But it's really not terrible. If you want to get out of the drone range, just go faster than the speed limit or go slower than the speed limit and you're all good. So I've been looking into how to get rid of exhaust drone, and there's actually something called a Helmholtz resonator, or it's also known as a J-pipe. There is some science and mathematics involved in that. So I think that is something I might pursue and try to remove the drone. I think that could be a cool little experiment, maybe another video on how to make one. So I've actually measured the decibel level of the drone for this truck. I did a little experiment going up a nice long slight incline that's near my house, and I've got a decibel reader on my phone. So you see that the drone right there is pretty decent at about 80, 81 decibels. In the grand scheme of things, that's not really terribly loud, but for some reason, drone just kind of gets you right, like practically hits your brainstem. If you've had an aftermarket muffler, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Stay tuned to the channel. I will have more exhaust videos coming in the future. So if you like this kind of content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and stay tuned. There's going to be more to come. If you'd like to support the channel in another way and look cool too, check out the merchandise link in the description below. I just released a bunch of new designs to the merch. Just refreshed my logo and all that for the channel. So any purchase there goes to help this channel grow, and it's greatly appreciated. Well, that's going to wrap it up for today's video. As always, thanks for watching. God bless. Be sure and hit that like switch on your way out. We'll see you next time.